Nushrat Patel from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication welcomes you to the session of wireless communication. Today I am going to discuss about Unit 6, that is recent trends with topic Wi-Fi. So let's start the session. First of all, let's revise the previous session. In the previous session, we have discussed about the Wi-Fi, that is wireless fidelity, and about its different versions of 802.11a, 802.11b, and 802.11g. Then we have seen about the various frequency used for that. There is applications for the different versions, and there is frequency method that can be used for the Wi-Fi. We have also seen about the security methods and the security threats related to Wi-Fi and how we can overcome from that, different advantages and limitations of Wi-Fi, and then we compare the Wi-Fi technology with the other example technology. So in this session, we will discuss about the second recent trend technology, that is WiMAX. It is IEEE 802.16 standard. So let's start discussing about the WiMAX. First of all, let's discuss about the full form of it. So it stands for Worldwide Interoperability for Microwave Access. It operates in a manned development. So the reasons for why we choose the metropolitan area network development are to extend the current limited coverage. In the previous scenario of Wi-Fi, we have seen that it operates in a particular limited range of it. Means approximately, if we want to extend the range, then also it operates only in between 100 to 150 feet. But if we talk about the WiMAX, so it operates in a manned development, so it provides the extended current limited coverage. Also operate or offer the broadband access in urban area. Now in the urban area, there is a possibility that many traffic will get the congested data in that. So in that case, we can say that to offer the broadband access in that particular congested area, this WiMAX technology can be used. The next is to bridge the digital divide in low density area. We can also use in a low density, means low traffic area, it can also be used. Now let's classify the WiMAX technology into the three different standards, as we have discussed it for the Wi-Fi, that it will be divided into 802.11a, 802.11b, and 802.11g. So same way, let's classify the 802.16, that is WiMAX, into the three different categories. So these three categories are 802.16a, 802.16 revised, and 802.16e. Now we will compare these three standards with each other and get to know about which standard is better. So these are the three different 802.16 standard. We have compared it in the different parameters. So these are the list of parameters that we can compare. It is classified into the spectrum, configuration used, modulation technique used, channel bandwidth, mobility offered by it, and typical cell radius, means in which particular area or up to which distance it can be used, and in the competition, means mainly at which time it gets introduced. So first let's start with the spectrum classification for 802.16. So as you can see in this table, that 802.16 offers a spectrum of 10 to 66 GHz. 802.16a provides 3 to 11 GHz of spectrum, and for the 802.16e, it offers less than 6 GHz. So the main operative range of WiMAX is for 802.16 original version. If we talk about the configuration used, so for the 802.16, it offers the configuration of LOS, means line of sight will be offered. If we talk about the 802.16a, means the extension or revised version, then in that case you can also use it for the NLOS, means non-line of sight. Now what is this non-line of sight? Means line of sight means there is a clear path between transmitter and receiver, and if there is an obstacle present between the transmitter and receiver, then that path gets obstructed, and in that case you can say that the configuration used is non-line of sight. So in case of 802.16e, and LOS can be used. If we talk about the modulation scheme used, so in case of 802.16, QPSK means quadrature phase shift gain can be used. If you talk about the 802.16e, if you talk about the 802.16e, then in that case OFDM with QPSK can be used. OFDM means orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, that we already discussed in unit number 4. It can be used OFDM means multi-carrier technology and is far superior than the FDMA, CDMA and TDMA, because in case of orthogonal frequency division the correlation will be taken place, and that's why it offers the non-line of sight configuration by using the modulation technique OFDM, because it correlates with the delayed signal, and delayed signal can be offered only when there is not a clear line of sight in between the transmitter and receiver. Same way in case of 802.16e also, OFDM with QPSK can be used. Again, orthogonal frequency division multiple access with quadrature phase shift gain can be accessible. Next one is the mobility. So mobility cannot be offered by the 802.16, means if you place it at a one place, you have to stay over there. You cannot move from one place to another place while using this 802.16 technology. So that's why here it is written that it is a fixed mobility technique. In case of 802.16e, it also offers the fixed mobility, means you cannot move from one place to another place while using this technique. If you talk about the 802.16e, then it can provide the mobility with less than 75 meter per hour. Means if you move with this velocity, then it offers the mobility with this revised version. Otherwise, it cannot be offered mobility by using the WiMAX standards. Next is channel bandwidth. What channel bandwidth can be preferable in case of these three configurations? So if we talk about the channel bandwidth for 802.16, then it offers the mobile channel bandwidth of 20 MHz, 25 MHz and 28 MHz. If we talk about the 802.16a, then it is selectable between 1.25 to 20 MHz. Means in between 1.25 to 20, you can select any range of the channel bandwidth. If I talk about the 802.16e, then it offers the mobility up to or channel bandwidth up to the 5 MHz for this revised standard. Now let's talk about the area offered by these three different WiMAX configuration. So typical cell radius for 802.16 is 123 mile. In case of 802.16a, it is 3 to 5 mile, means you can extend the range with use of this particular standard. If you use the 802.16e, then it is up to 1 to 3 mile. So the highest area coverage can be offered by this particular standard of WiMAX. Now, if we talk about the year of introduction or year of introduced for the WiMAX, then it can be completed in 2001 in 802.16. For 2003, it is introduced 802.16a, and lastly, in May 2005, the updated version of WiMAX can be offered. Now, in this particular updated version, you can see that it offers the less bandwidth use, the spectrum use will be decreased. The updated modulation scheme will be used, that is OFDM with QPSK is the main feature, and the best advantage of this 802.16e standard is it offers the mobility that is up to less than 75 mph. So this is the different classification of 802.16 standards. Now let's talk about the several features that can be used by this technology. So first is very high peak data rate compared to the previous standard. Also it provides the scalable bandwidth. In the last slide we have seen that it offers the scalable bandwidth up to 5 MHz or in the range of 3 GHz also. So it can be provided to give the OFDM. This is the advantage of offers the WiMAX, that it can provide the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing of multi-carrier technology. By using this, adaptive modulation and coding can be offered by it. The adaptive modulation means the weighted factors are there and it is continuously changing. In case of this, means output of the intermediate stage will be again given to the weighted stage of to the input side and it will be continuously changing. So the error introduced for this particular method is very less by using the adaptive modulation. It also offers the coding mechanism and flexible and dynamic resource allocation. Now how the flexible and dynamic resource allocation is possible? So in case of unit number 2 channel assignment techniques, we have discussed about the frictional and dynamic channel allocation. So here also this feature can be supported by the WiMAX, means predetermined set of channel allocation, and as per the user requirement you can use the resource allocation. So it provides the flexible as well as the dynamic resource allocation. The next one is its support for the advanced antenna technique. Now advanced antenna technique means it can be used for the purpose of beamforming. Now what is this beamforming? Means if you want to get the desired pattern in a particular direction, then you can get it by shifting the phase shift of that antenna in that particular direction. So it supports the advanced antenna technique in terms of beamforming. Next is robust security. By this you can offer the encrypted data. Support for mobility, it can be provided by the revised or the updated version of WiMAX that we have seen in the last slide, that mobility can be offered by WiMAX up to the less than 75 mph. Also the one new feature for this is FEC. FEC is one of the prior block in case of OFDM, and because WiMAX uses the OFDM modulation technique, it uses the forward error correction block, that is the first prior block of OFDM that we have already discussed in unit number 4, that forward error correction is the first block of OFDM transmitter, and that's why it is supported in the feature of WiMAX. Next, WiMAX architecture. So here you can see that WiMAX can be used with a different technology. For this you have to simply connect it with the backhaul of the internet, and then the Ethernet can also be connected with it. So here the Wi-Fi standard different access point is there, and Ethernet can also be used. So this particular architecture can be used for the WiMAX. Now let's see about the WiMAX security. So it supports privacy by using the passwords. Device and user authentication can be provided by it in terms of the clear text or in terms of the coded data. Next is it provides the flexible key management protocol. Means if user wants somewhat a level of higher security, then it can easily change the key to the particular new site. So it offers the flexible key management protocol. Next is protection of control message can be possible by using the WiMAX, and support for fast handover. When if user move from one base station to another base station with higher velocity, then in that case if signal strength is reducing, then if you using the other technique, then there may be a possibility of signal loss, and it cannot be possible with the WiMAX technology, means it can support the fast handover also. Now let's talk about the advantages that can be offered by WiMAX. So these are the list of advantages. Single station serve the hundred of users. If you in case of WiMAX architecture, we have seen that the single station can be supported with the different techniques of the recent trends. So that's why here is written that the single station serves the hundred of users. Next one is stable platform and new opportunity. Obviously, this 802.16 standard revised version will introduced in 2005, and it offers several new opportunities. You can also access it while moving with some kind of velocity. Next is faster development of new users. If in the previous network, if any new user want to add in that particular network, then also it can be possible. It offers the 10 megabytes per second of speed up to 10 kilometer, means the higher speed can be provided by it. The next is volume opportunities for the silicon suppliers, means at a larger cell area it can also be used. We have seen in the different classification of 802.16a, 802.16 and 802.16 revised version that it offers up to 3 to 5 mile of cell radius. So we can say that various volume opportunity can be provided by using the WiMAX. Next is always and best connected network. Obviously, this is a very high speed and very good speed. For this, we can see that it offers the always best connected network. Talk about the limitations of WiMAX. So, first limitation is line of sight. In the classification of 802.16, we have seen that the basic version of 802.16 is limited for the configuration of line of sight, and that's why it is written in a limitation that line of sight is needed for the longer communication, means you can use the non-line of sight for the updated version, but it is limited to some range only, and that is the limitation of this technique, that up to 10 kilometer only it can be used. Power intensive technology, why more power is needed for this? Because it is always and best connected network, and for that to get the continuous connected with the network, you need the supply continuously, and that's why here it is written that it is power intensive technology. Weather conditions may interrupt the signal, means if there is a obstacle present and using the non-line of sight type of configuration, then if the weather condition changes, then there are more obstacles present in between the path of our transmitter and receiver. So that's why here it is written in a limitation that the weather condition and multiplied frequencies can be used for it. The last limitation is big installation and operation cost, because you need to introduce the WiMAX transmitter, WiMAX repeaters and WiMAX receivers at the end, and for that you need the shareable bandwidth. So these are the limitations of WiMAX that you should keep in the mind while designing the WiMAX architecture. Now let's compare the WiMAX with our previous technique, Wi-Fi, that is 802.11 standard. So these are the various features classification for it. So here the first feature comparison is primary application. So in case of WiMAX, it is mainly used for broadband wireless, while in case of Wi-Fi, it can be used for wireless LAN. If you talk about the frequency band, then in case of WiMAX, it offers a frequency of 2 to 11 gigahertz, while in case of Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz of frequency is mainly used. If you talk about the duplex communication, means whether it can be used in a both way or in a one way. So in case of WiMAX, it offers the full duplex communication, means from the transmitter to receiver simultaneously it can be offered. But in case of Wi-Fi, it is a half wave communication, means only one way it is possible. or either it can be possible with the two-way but not simultaneously. Mobility cannot be offered with the Wi-Fi, means you cannot move the complete Wi-Fi network from one place to another place while using it, but mobile WiMAX can be possible. That we have already seen in this lecture, that WiMAX offers the mobility up to 75 mph while using the updated version of WiMAX. If we talk about the access protocol, that can be used for these two methods. So access protocol for WiMAX is either request or grant type, and in case of Wi-Fi it is CSMA or CD. Means the collision avoid or collision access protocol can be used. In case of bandwidth efficiency, WiMAX offers a very large bandwidth efficiency compared to Wi-Fi, that is up to 5 bps, 5 bits per second can be provided with WiMAX, while in case of Wi-Fi it is only up to 2.7 bps. If you want to add the encryption algorithm or security feature, then in case of WiMAX, AES can be used, and in case of Wi-Fi, RC4 cipher algorithm can be used for Wi-Fi. So these are the comparison parameters or features for both WiMAX and Wi-Fi. Now let's compare this WiMAX technology with Bluetooth technology. So these are the comparison. In case of Bluetooth, it is based on the radio technology, and it is mainly used in multiplexing of FHSS and OFDM. FHSS means the frequency hopping spread spectrum, and OFDM means orthogonal frequency division multiple axis. Here the frequency hopping spread spectrum depends on the hopping rate, and based on the hopping rate it can be slow hopping or the fast hopping. The frequency used is 2.4 GHz, and it is operated in a very small range, that is up to 10 meters it can be operated. If we talk about our technology WiMAX, then it is based on the microwave access, because the WiMAX stands for worldwide interoperability for microwave access, and that's why technology used for it is microwave technology. The multiplexing that can be used for WiMAX is the frequency division duplexing and time division duplexing. The frequency range that can be offered by WiMAX is from 2 to 66 GHz, and obviously it offers a very high range of operability. In case of WiMAX, that is 10 km. So that is a comparison of two technology, Bluetooth and WiMAX. Up to this, in case of WiMAX, if you have any doubts or queries, you can ask me on my email ID. Thank you for watching.